Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. It's going to be a much better day. Let's move forward. No more. Let's just move forward. Today's podcast is about moving forward. We're going to have a lot to talk about. It's your show. It's the people's show. Hashtag Ask Blake is back. We will go through and answer as many Ask Blakes, hashtag Ask Blakes tonight as we can. Also, the Eli Ricks and DC coaching rumors. I don't want this to really be a rumor-filled show. Neither does my son Ben that you can hear. But we got to address it a little bit since it's been out there in the forefront. What are we hearing about Eli Ricks? What are we hearing about the DC coaching search as well? Also, LSU basketball last night. I don't know, y'all. I don't really know what to say. And by the way, Drew Brees had a torn rotator cuff. Remember how this week we've talked about Sean Payton being petty and not saving his players? The man had a torn rotator cuff that could have easily ended his career. Remember the tape on his shoulder when they played the Bears? We'll get to that as well. Let's get to some of these comments before we get into the show. Dylan Landry, what's up, brother? He says, let's go. So does Nick Guidry, Jamie Fortenberry, Jamie Hodges, Casey Smith says it as well. Colin Thibodeau, Craig Schilling, we are live. Yes, sir, we are. Devin Stops says, sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Remember the Titans is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's not even close. Jamie says, let's go on Facebook Live. Ryan says that song is like running through a tunnel. I know, man. I don't think people fully understand when the beat hits, like me sitting on this side, dude, I get amped up. So when I come out the gate and I'm just like fired up, it's because I'm like, let's go, man. It's like Coach O has been pumping me up. Saying, Blake Ruffino, let's go, baby. Let's go Tigers. Shrimp po' boy. Roast beef po' boy. On the other side is a roast beef po' boy. And I'm going to run through that wall. Rodney says, bring some good news. We're going to bring some good news. Tonight's about good news. And some hashtag Ask Blake, and we'll get into that. But before that, we got to pay some bills around here. And I want to thank my good friend Richie, who's going to be a new sponsor of the show, him and his company. We'll be talking about them a lot more here upcoming, Allstate and stuff like that. So really looking forward to that. But we do got to pay some bills around this thing. The sinus infection is getting better. So everyone that's messaging me asking, thank you very much. The sinus infection is getting better. Everyone joining the show, we greatly appreciate it. We always appreciate our good partners at Believe Podcast as well. Everybody do us a favor, hitting that like. Man, I got to make a note of this. Go subscribe to YouTube. You got 10 days, literally, to get that $100 gift card giveaway. After the show, go to YouTube, type in Are You Serious Sports, click subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and you'll put your name in a drawing. It's free for you. I'm the one coming out of pocket here. Anyway, let's pay some bills around this thing. And none better than our good friends over at GM Varnado & Sons. GM Varnado & Sons has faithfully been serving that Denham Springs and Baton Rouge area for over 62 years. With their highly trained technicians, there's absolutely nothing that they can't do. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, truck repair, routine maintenance, tire repair, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. Or go see them over at 2500 Florida Boulevard, Denham Springs, Louisiana. And for the number one real estate firm in all of the North Shore, go to team.kw.com. That's team.kw.com. Go meet with one of their great real estate agents, not today, but tomorrow. And the home that you've always been waiting for, you can go there and find it. Or you can give them a call tomorrow at 985-467-7355. That's 985-467-7355. And tell them Blake Ruffino sent you by. See, I have to take a sip of water so I don't cough on the air. I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to put the hashtag Ask Blake in here. So if it's your first time joining the show and you don't know what it's about, all you got to do is put hashtag Ask Blake and we will answer some of your questions. So I know that the Eli Ricks thing is going to come up. I know that you're going to ask me about Glenn Schumann, the co-defensive coordinator from the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm sure that's going to come up. Harold Wood says, we here. What's up, Harold? What's up, brother? Aaron Adams says, been looking forward to the show all day as usual. I appreciate that, my friend. Caleb says, what's up with Elias Ricks? Okay. I understand that Elias Ricks deleted everything from Instagram. I understand that national recruiters or recruiting sites are saying that Elias Ricks is likely transferring. I think Rivals came out with it. But, man, let me tell you, I did some digging today on this. Here's what I found out. Elias Ricks is at LSU. He's been going through football school. There was some question if he missed a day, but he did not. What else? Oh, and his parents are in Baton Rouge, and they love LSU, and they love Baton Rouge. And from what I understand, they're saying they're not leaving. They literally moved from California to Baton Rouge to watch Elias Ricks play. So I don't know where this is coming from. I had my suspicions. Maybe Elias Ricks in some frustrations, maybe said some stuff. Some people are reporting that Ohio State's been calling Elias Ricks every single day for every single week during the football season. That's a bold-faced lie. That didn't happen because LSU would make sure that would stop. So that's a lie. So right now, I don't know what's in the man's heart, and I don't know what's in the kid's future other than him being at LSU at this current moment. So we'll continue to monitor. But right now it seems to be fine. Craig Schilling says, did you get that Ricola sponsor yet? Craig, we're going to have to make something out of that. I love it when I say Ricola. No, not yet. Maybe I should call him. Paul Tylock says, ask Blake, so who you think the next DC option is? Let's get into that. Okay. The AJC's Dog Nation, who is a part of that, is Mike Griffith. Mike Griffith and myself go on Nashville Sports Radio with Bill King. And from what I understand, and from some sourcing inside of LSU, LSU has talked with Glenn Schumann, the co-defensive coordinator from Georgia. Now, before we get our hopes all up, oh my God, let's go. Yippee! Let's understand this. LSU has struck out twice. Also, let me say this. Someone on Twitter blamed me today, literally 30 minutes before I came on the show, and said that it's people like me, it's my fault that Marcus Freeman and Ryan Nielsen didn't come. Please stop that. So you mean to tell me that it was my fault that they went to Ruth Chris and they struck out and they let Marcus Freeman get on a plane without a signed contract? You mean to tell me it's my fault that Ryan Nielsen 4 years ago signed a contract that was not going to let him come back to LSU? Yeah, that's my fault, right? I'll take it then. If it means that LSU gets a really good defensive coordinator, then I'll take the fault and the blame. It's my fault. Jeez, I'm Pete. Juice Washington said, ask Blake, chances of Gilbert coming back. If not, I believe in Cole Taylor. We talked about this last week with Eric Gilbert, right? We talked about, and I said that I mentioned that a source had told me that Eric Gilbert had contacted LSU and that LSU was still paying his financial aid. And from what I understand, I don't know if he's technically enrolled in classes, but he's still on the registry at LSU. So there could be a good chance. There was a chance that he was going to Tennessee with his former teammate Harrison Bailey. He ain't going there now, and it looks like it's going to be a battle between Florida and LSU moving forward. Jamar Jackson says 23 3-pointers. Man, they couldn't. Bro, it was like Alabama last night basketball-wise against LSU was pretty much if you were playing the game 2K on PlayStation or Xbox, whatever it is that you play, and instead of putting it on the hardest thing, the hardest level, you put it on like junior varsity, 9th grade girls softball, okay? And they were just raining threes. It was ridiculous. I've never seen something like that before in my life. I've seen that from the Golden State Warriors. That's about it. That was a joke. Jamie Davlin on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, do you think now would be the best time to go after to get Schumann with Georgia hiring Muschamp? Yes, I do. Now, I don't know what's going on with this Will Muschamp thing at Georgia. You remember last year during recruiting, Will Muschamp's son became a walk-on, had a scholarship and was going to Colorado State, and then didn't even take the scholarship and went to Georgia as a walk-on quarterback where he's never going to play. Basically, Will Muschamp and Kirby Smart made a very what do you want to call it here? Agreement, so to speak. An agreement. Colin Thibodeau, I saw you just tag me in something. I don't know what that is on Facebook. I mean, you guys can hear me, correct? I hope I'm not just talking into the wind here. Roderick says, what's happening, Blake? What's happening, brother? Just cooling. I can't wait until Friday when I'm off this sinus infection medications. I can have a drink. It's been a chaotic week. Very chaotic. Colin Thibodeau says, ask Blake, can people start talking about Pruitt having a job at LSU, let alone the SEC anywhere anytime soon? Yeah, that's the stupidest thing I've heard, man. Not stupid. I get what fans are doing because Jeremy Pruitt is a good DC. But, guys, they're facing up to 50 level 1 violations. My man was literally at McDonald's with grocery bags full of cash. You ever heard the term? Oh, well, I'm not going to say it. But I'll tell you this. Recruits were loving it. Hey, Jeremy Pruitt was sitting behind the counter at McDonald's. He was like, order the deluxe breakfast. Right? Order the deluxe. And here's the crazy thing, y'all. They still got their asses beat. They cheated and they still lost. How you going to cheat and lose? How bad do you got to be to cheat and lose? Man. Unbelievable. Councilman Carly King says, ask Blake, would comparing Watford's hair to the way LSU played last night be a good comparison? Awful. Hey, man, I don't know what good hairstyles are these days. I don't know, but it was awful. Nevertheless, it was really awful. Delvin T says the Eric Gilbert news was hot today. Yeah, it was hot last week when we talked about it. I told you it was about to happen and that we had literally came on the show probably about a week ago today and told you that he had reached out. I think this is just old sourcing and people are finally running out there with it. I do feel about 85%. Bucknut, an Ohio State fan, he's Sir Bucknut now. He says Ricks would do better in Columbus. Hey, brother, y'all can't even beat an SEC team. The last couple times you've gone up against the SEC, you got patty smacked. Worry about winning first. Does LSU have a national championship before y'all do? Recently? Oh, goodness gracious. I love you, Bucknut. RC on Periscope says, ask Blake, what's this I hear about Gilbert on a possible return? Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. That's Rudy Poo, says Ryan and Dylan. Yeah, it's Rudy Poo. The people were blaming me. People were literally blaming me because Scott Woodward and Ed Orgeron struck out on Marcus Freeman and Ryan Nielsen. I didn't bring that man to Ruth Chris. You should have brought that man over to Rufino's. I know it's my last name, but you should have brought that man over to Rufino's and wined and dined him. Thursday night steak night, you feel me? Get him the chopped veal. Get the lady a glass of wine. Make her feel good. Let her go get her nails done. Her toes done. But it's my fault. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, too. What's up, Roderick? He says, as Blake on Facebook Live, Schumann isn't too bad in my opinion. You think we go after Reeves at UAB? I hope that they would go after Reeves at UAB. But I will tell all of you this. Schumann and LSU both have interest in one another. Glenn Schumann doesn't want to be a co-DC forever. He's a young, energetic guy. He coaches linebackers. He's really good. He's a good philosophy coach and knows how to cover the spread. And quite honestly, without some injuries, Georgia had the best defense in college football last year, barring the injuries. Before, I think, wasn't it during the Alabama game, they were somewhat keeping that offense at bay. Y'all remember that? And at the end, they started getting injury on top of injury. I think they had 4 injuries in the second half defensively, and it was over with. Alabama just blew it open. But from a schematic standpoint, I thought that they did the best. That's me personally. Harold Wood says, Blake, you should have called Sean Payton for LSU. He blocked me, remember? That man's so petty. We're going to talk about Drew Brees. We're going to talk about Drew Brees. He let Drew Brees walk out. He let Drew Brees run out there with I don't think people understand that man ran out there with a rotator cuff. The significance in all of this. That's what he had in San Diego. His career was almost ended. Ask any pitcher. I come from a family of baseball players and baseball coaches. Ask them of the severity of that injury, and you put tape on his shoulder? Well, Blake gets his last ride. So was it Peyton Manning's. It was Peyton Manning's last year too. But they saved that man. Mark on YouTube. Yep. YouTube. The $100 gift card giveaway. I wish I could do an edit and then like my two sparkles. Ask Blake, names of DC's LSU has talked to lately. The one that is of most concern right now is Glenn Schumann. Joe Barry, the linebackers coach, his name always continues to float around, but I forget the NFL team. I don't remember what NFL team that his name's flying around. Maybe Las Vegas, I think it might be Vegas. And look, I don't know if that guy wants to come back to college. Craig Dugas says, do you think Edward O would have had a game plan to have lawyers look over contracts and see what was possible? He better stop listening to the binder. Well, Craig, that's not his area, man. That's Scott Woodward and them's area. That's not his job to read over contracts. That's why you have ADs. That's why you have agents. And that's why you have attorneys. Did I say attorneys? Yeah. No. Yes. No, I didn't. That's why you have ADs. Yeah, right. You pay buku's amounts of money to those 3 individuals, and they're the ones that's supposed to work out that contract, not Ed Orgeron. And I would be damned if Ryan Nielsen knew he signed a contract that meant he couldn't go back to college. I know that he didn't. On this one, is Ed at blame? Yes, because he should have waited and he should have called Sean Payton and said, Sean, listen, I want to interview Nielsen. And here's another thing. The way that Sean Payton reacted to it, how do we know that Ed Orgeron didn't act in the right way? Because he knew that's what Sean Payton would do. You can't convince me that Ed Orgeron didn't have feelers put out. Everybody running out there putting this on Ed Orgeron. And look, I have criticized Ed Orgeron before, but to put this all on that man, I would almost guarantee you that Ed Orgeron put feelers out to Sean Payton. Now you got Mike Triplett from The Athletic running out here saying Sean Payton has no idea what's going on with the LSU DC search. That's BS because I know for a fact that he was putting out feelers to find out what Ed Orgeron was doing. This Ryan Nielsen thing isn't all on Ed. Marcus Freeman's not all on Ed. Barry Odom's not all on Ed. Barry Odom hung up on him, apparently. Country 2529 on Periscope says, ask Blake. What's up, Country? He says, LSU basketball has been terrible stopping the three for years, I feel like. Country, they have, man. Like they seriously have. Like legitimately have. Stan Polkley says the Raiders. What's up, Stan? Stan the man Polkey. My man. What's happening? Yeah, it is the Raiders. The Raiders. I was looking down to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Hey, Jake Stockinger. I see your comment. This one right here, no, not yet. How does everybody know that my name's floating out there? Very interesting. No, I hadn't heard anything. Not at all. I heard a little something. I heard a little something, but not like that, no. Blake just says that it looked like NBA Jam. It did, man. It did. God, that was embarrassing last night. Very embarrassing. All right, guys, do the hashtag Ask Blake. I'm going to put it back in there because it helps me with finding the comments, because sometimes everybody's comments just runs together, and I don't know if you're replying to somebody or what. Colin Thibodeau says Blake is neighbors with both Coach O and Sean Payton. Physically impossible. So he can just talk to them and hash out their trash. Well, let me tell you something. This is how it would have gone. Coach O is over here. Sean Payton's over here. Hey, Sean, you gonna give me Ryan Nielsen? Me in the middle, not saying anything. Looking over to Sean. I'm just gonna tell you right now, Blake, I have blocked you from Twitter. Not because you did anything wrong, but the simple fact that you said that I had a wrong play call. But what about Ryan Nielsen? Oh, but yeah, by the way, he's not coming. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm almost over this this sinus infection. Nick Stevens says, ask Blake, have you heard any news on the DC interviews coming up? Love the show, brother. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, it looks like Schumann might be the guy for now, and Joe Barry. Those seem to be the two guys that are the names that are trickling out right now is those two. I'm reading an article right here. I just read an article. Raekwon Smith calls linebackers coach Glenn Schumann a guru. I was just sent that article. There you go. Georgia players think that Glenn Schumann is a guru. How about that? Michael Ray has an interesting comment here. He says George Munoz and James Craig should see a different O-line this year. Completely agree with that. George Munoz is a genius when it comes to RPO protections. A genius. And look, James Craig is good in his own right with technique and stuff like that. A genius. So I agree with that statement. Michael, that's a really good take, my friend. A very good take. Tony Williams says, what is the most reasonable option and most realistic for DC? Let's see. Somebody that can come in here and be energetic, know what to do, and get things moving. That is what you need right now. Somebody that and can recruit. Glenn Schumann's a great recruiter. A very fantastic recruiter. So with all of that being said, I wouldn't mind him. I also wouldn't mind Reeves from UAB. So that would be my pick. Neil says, ask Blake, are those the early signees? Are there any early signees in school yet? Yes, there's 9 of them. The big ones, Deion Smith, Mason Smith, Garrett Nussmeier, Yeah, there's 9 of them that are there. I'd have to go look at all of them again. If anybody knows all 9 of them, hit us up in the comments. Blaine Smith says, ask Blake, what are you hearing about a full-time line? Let me read that again. Blaine Smith says, what are you hearing about timeline? There we go. For DC in position. I mean, Blaine, as soon as possible. ASAP. I mean, football school's underway right now. Right now. No question about that at all. Holden Lee says, let me get 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! I'm a Rolex wearing. Yeah. Diamond ring wearing. Yeah. Kiss stealing. Wheeling dealing. Son of a gun. And I'm having a hard time literally holding these alligators down, these Crocs. So give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Jeez on Pete's. I just showed my whiteness right then wearing Crocs. Jeez. Give me two claps and a Ric Flair. I mean, I guess, are they called gators then? Because, no, they'd be Crocs. Crocodiles. See, I messed up on that one. Derek says, might as well hire Lovie Smith now. His name has not come up. John on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, not a question, but just wanted to say a long-time listener and first time. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, John. All right, let's pay some bills around this thing, and we'll get to some more of your questions. Before we do that, everybody watching, do us a favor by hitting the like and share on Facebook. You can hit that retweet on Twitter, and don't forget about the $100 gift card giveaway on YouTube. All you got to do is go subscribe and hit that notification bell. But I'm giving you money, but there's a man out there that's going to save you money, and that's my good friend, Mr. John Patton, over at Area Home Lending. Guys, if you're thinking about buying a new home, saving money on that mortgage that you have now, or even doing that cash out refi, the timing has literally never been better. Get in touch with John Patton from Area Home Lending today by giving them a call at 225-663-2500 or go to their website, areahomelending.com. That's areahomelending.com. And I know that John will get the right mortgage rate for you. Tell him Blake Ruffino sent you by, and he will send a team out and do a free appraisal for you today. That's 225-663-2500. And also, when that man's saving you money, I know you got some. I know my boy right here going to help you save that money too. Mr. Michael Bazile, our financial advisor. 504-343-1576. That's 504-343-1576. If you live for it, you damn sure better plan for it. Okay. I know. That was a little stupid that I said holding those alligators down, I'm wearing Crocs, right? Lugo Lost 21 said that Schumann recruited Nevin Teague Strong back in 2018, third highest ever in Georgia recruiting per 247. Yeah, he got the 5-star quarterback that's going to Georgia, Van Blegenberg or whatever his name is. And he has cleaned up at outside linebacker, defensive end, and inside linebacker. He is a hell of a recruiter. You got to give him that. Jeremiah Phillips says Eric Gilbert come back. He might. Very good chance he might. Also a very good chance he might not. But we're gonna be monitoring that. Cody McGee says, ask Blake, what about Wade Phillips? He wants to come out of retirement. They need to call him. Don't know if he will come to college, though, but he can run a defense still at 80 years old. Yeah, but can he recruit? That's the biggest thing. Stan Polkey, my man, he says, ask Blake, does Barry remind you of a Scott Linehan type of hire? Stan, that is a fantastic question. Talking about Joe Barry, the linebackers coach for the Rams. Absolutely. Like, that might be an identical matchup, but only on the defensive side of the ball. And you know what's even crazier, Stan? It could even be worse because there's not a Steve Ensminger there to stop it, right? So it could be worse. But yes, I would think that it would be that type of coaching hire. Look, there's rumors out there about Joe Barry that he does not play well, doesn't play nice with others. And we know that when Ed Orgeron gets a guy that doesn't play nice with others, things like Matt Canada happen when maybe there's a fight breaking out during Troy. Stan, that's a really damn good comparison. Everybody needs to like that tweet. Or tweet, that comment. That's a good, great question about Joe Barry. Daniel A's D's says, ask Blake, can we get Coach O and Sean Payton in the octagon? Matt Bricker and I will call the action. Hashtag AYS Fight Club. Big fight coming up this weekend, and Sean Payton would get obliterated by Ed Orgeron. Ed Orgeron would eat 7 shrimp po' boys and his favorite, a roast beef po' boy, and dominate Sean Payton and his 27 double chins. Now, you can't see my double chin because it's covered by hair, but it's there. Let's see. Steve Bean on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, what's the last day to enroll for spring semester? That will tell you when Eric Gilbert will be back. Steve, I don't know that, man. That's a great question, but I have no idea. I'd have to look into that, but I do not know. I do not know at all. Adam Keene says, ask Blake, if we were going to go get someone with no DC experience, why not promote Corey Raymond? Because, look, I understand that everybody wants Corey Raymond to be the next DC. Like, there's a lot of people that want him to be the DC. The simple fact and the simple truth with that is that if he wanted to be a DC, he would have done it a long time ago. He's the highest one. Well, he was until, oh boy, the special teams coordinator at Texas got that money. But he's the second highest paid position coach. I mean, he's comfortable where he's at. And also his wife's got a 6-figure job too. She makes bank. So I don't think that he wants to risk that at all. So I just can't see it. Peggy Red, one of the bigger LSU fans you'll ever find out there, she says, ask Blake, does Odom hate O? Does Barry Odom hate O? Since he hung up on him, we need to start I've been blocked by Sean Payton Club. I don't think he hates him. I just think he was tired of answering phone calls. That's actually kind of my kind of coach. Zachary Payne on Periscope says, ask Blake, if it is Schumann, do we go back to the 3-4? I think that they're going to have a guy that's going to be multiple. Ed wants to be multiple. I think he's learned from his ways, and he's learned that you can't just run one defense in college with the spread attack. You can't do it. Lamar Williams says, at this point, they should just hire me. I'm a free agent. Hey, man, if you can recruit and you can call some plays, man. I mean, I'm a great play caller on Madden. Y'all, I'm otherworldly. Holden Lee says, ask Blake, I feel bad for you, bro. I bet you're ready to get off this DC topic. Keep doing your work. Screw the haters. I am and I'm not. I mean, look, we cover LSU. Nicholas on YouTube says, have you heard any rumors about any potential transfers to LSU? No, but I would keep my eyes out on guys at Tennessee. I forget the linebacker at Tennessee. He was a 5-star linebacker out of California. I think his name was like Henry Tuatua. He might be one of the better linebackers, not just in the SEC, but the country. I would call that kid today, like right now. Another thing that's very interesting is Big Cat Bryant deleted the stuff about Tennessee on his Twitter, and I don't think that he ever signed to go to Tennessee yet. So, yeah, there are some names that I think LSU should call, but they got to go get offensive linemen first before they can worry about transfers. That's for damn sure. Paul Maris, 77, on YouTube says, my pet peeve is getting a top coach from a competing conference school to coach at yours. It just seems to cop out way to me. Maybe so. Jason Blanchard said, great show. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. MLM0039 on YouTube says, ask Blake, should have better clock management with Munoz back. I know he was an O's ear helping him in 19. That's a good point, but you didn't have those clock management issues under, well, you had one under Miles, but you didn't have a lot of them. And the ones you did were when freshmen were a little bit confused. From a freshman team, I'm a little okay with that. Right? Like, especially with no true off season. Like everybody was like, oh my God, it's Les Miles all over again. No, Les had full off seasons. And historically had horrible clock management. With a true freshman quarterback, I'm not going to worry about that. Now, if it continues, okay, yes, it's a problem. I'm not going to worry about that with O right now. It is a good point that George is going to be there, though. And along with Russ Callaway. Well, that'd be interesting to see, too. Chance Rogers says, ask Blake anything on Elias Ricks or just rumors. We talked about this to open the show. It just seems to be rumors at this point. I made some phone calls today, and it just seems to be nothing but rumors. Juice Washington says, the hood wears Crocs, Blake, you good. Yeah, I'm hood. Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing. That's what I'm talking about. Bro, that makes me feel good. My street cred just went up by 1,000%. Guys, I'm sorry about the cough. I'm sorry. I don't want to not come on because we got a show to run. I can't just call anybody to come do the show. John Adams asked a good question here. He says, ask Blake, any news on Dante Starks? No, not really. It wouldn't surprise me if he came back. It also would really surprise me if he came back. Hunter Daigle says, ask Blake, where do you think Pruitt learned the bag of cash trick from? Little Nicky? Oh, yeah. And it's not like he doesn't know that before. I mean, that's just sloppiness. That's just very sloppy. LGZ2115. Okay, here it is. M. Smith, Mason Smith, Deion Smith, Strong, Nussmeier, Todd, Carter, Davis, Jackson, and Dellinger are all the enrollees. There you go. That's all the guys that the recruits are enrolled. Thank you for that. Daniel D says Michael Bazile, legend in the financial advisor game. Yeah, dude, he is a beast. Guys, when the market's going down, me and my wife have not lost money. It's otherworldly. Like literally otherworldly. Craziness. Taylor says, literally got the entire O-line and D-line to come back for another year. Taylor's a good point, man. A fantastic point. When was the last time that happened at LSU? I don't remember a time that when that's happened. Tommy Chrysan, our good friend, Mr. Tommy Chrysan, says AYS rocks. Thanks, Tommy. Danny Krantz says, what's up, Blake? Feel better, brother. Ricola. Yeah, and you know what's crazy? You can't cough in public anymore. Man. I just don't want to get anybody mad because I got a little sinus infection. Zach says, I would like to see Carl Dunbar come back. I would too. But they're going to let those hires come from the DC if they, for the love of God, can ever get one. Look. Stan Polkey says July 23rd is the last day that they can enroll. So there you go. So Couple days, 3 days. Well, really, today's over with. So 2 days. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd. There you go, man. So it looks like we could get some Eric Gilbert news really quickly. Rodney Jordan says Coach O can box. Yeah, he can box. Remember, he was jab, 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 jab. That's probably slow on the. Maybe y'all let me know. Does it make my hands look fast when I do that? You know, bam. My dad used to put us in some. Man, my dad used to put us in boxing classes growing up. My brother, my older brother, dude, used to beat the snot out of me, like blister my face. Stanley Polkey says Henry Tua. There we go. I'd call that dude in a heartbeat. So did Mikey. Mikey said that too. Henry Tua. I call him right now. That dude can ball, y'all. That kid can ball. Nicholas on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, have you heard any rumors? I thought we read that one. I guess we're getting close. Hashtag Stephen Miller fill in for Blake, help a brother out. Yeah, we could do that. I just don't have a lot of fill-ins for people that could take the slot if I got a little cough here and there. That's what sucks. Kristen K. Pistol Craig says, ask Blake, what's up with Ray Darius Jones? Why isn't he seeing the field? Just a young guy. He's got a lot to learn. I mean, he came from the offensive side of the ball and playing defense. He's just got a lot to learn. So I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be fine. Travis on Facebook Live says Nick uses Chick-fil-A bags instead of McDonald's so he doesn't get caught. Yeah, that's the Lord's chicken. They ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Look, you get me a 10-piece and some of that Chick-fil-A sauce and some waffle fries, my big butt's happy. I ain't saying nothing, but Cane's is better, in my opinion. But for the potential of a future sponsorship, I think all chicken is equal. So if you own a chicken place, I shouldn't diminish the Lord's chicken like that. That's the Lord's chicken. So any future sponsor, I love all chicken. As my waistline and my belly would show to you. Roche's Lawn and Landscape says, ask Blake, how many games does LSU win next year? A lot to look forward to next year. Going to be exciting with all the use and coaching staff. It's a great question. It's a little too early for me, right? Like, I kind of still want to get a DC in here before I start mouthing off. I would say 9 wins is not out of the question. Harold Wood says, you looking like Ali. You think so, Harold? Bob, weave, bam. I'd get my ass kicked. I need to stop that. Somebody gonna come over here and clap me. Mikey says, ask Blake, Henry was also committed to Alabama before Tennessee too. Pruitt brought him to Tennessee. Well, there you go. But they can't bring him right now because they're full up. They're full up. If you're going to take another, let me tell you this right now. Everybody talking about Ray Davis in California versus Henry. I would take Henry Tua right now, or however you say his name. I take him every day of the week and twice on literally Saturday. That kid can ball. I don't care. You would get him for 2 years. Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. Not a bit. All right, let's get a couple more of these before we get out of here. Cody Lawrence on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, what's the deal with Ryan Nielsen? Is he LSU's DC or not? So, Cody, no. He's going to be staying with the Saints. Just a little bit of Sean Payton being petty, and LSU doesn't know how to read a contract. Basically, at the end of the day, if you want to narrow it all down, that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. Holden Lee says Church's chicken is better. Man, get out of here with that. Billy Reedy says box combo. Yeah, I would destroy a box combo. But man, I got to give credit to my wife. We've been doing some dieting. She's been doing meal prepping. My big butt has been eating healthy. I got to give it to her. So, but I'm a Canes man. Look, I love me some Canes. I'm gonna put out a photo tomorrow of me going to Canes. Ain't nothing my wife's about to tell me right now. Shoot, y'all got me wanting Canes so bad. So bad. Danny says, ask Blake, hey Blake, you doing NFL picks tonight? Who you got in the Super Bowl? No, I'd probably do that tomorrow, Danny. But now that the Saints are out, I'm going to pick Kansas City to win it all. I'm just going to let you know that right now. Green Bay is the only team that can beat Kansas City. No question. In my opinion, it's Kansas City and Green Bay. The two best quarterbacks in the league going at it one-on-one. Aaron Rodgers is a freak of nature. Everybody doubted him versus Patrick Mahomes, who's back at practice today. Yeah, Canes is better. Canes is a lot better. Ben Black, DC. What's up, Ben? He says, those cane tenders are shrinking by the day, though. I hadn't been to Canes in a while, man. Especially with my wife meal planning. I have not been going to Canes or stuff like that. But I might go tomorrow. I'm definitely going to go tomorrow. That's for dang sure. Like, for dang sure. But they are shrinking. The last time I went, it felt that way. But I also have humongous hands. You know, I don't have Joe Burrow sized hands. So maybe I was just, I don't know. Jack on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, does LSU go to Omaha this year? Excited to watch Milazzo be a stud behind the plate. I think they got a good chance. And I really do think this is Paul Maneri's most talented team potentially. Overall talent from start to finish, man, they're stacked. We'll have Zach Pearson on tomorrow too. And we'll talk about that. Former LSU baseball player. Way McBride says, Popeyes, it's a Southern staple. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm with you. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. We got some guesting tomorrow. Daniel Dees will be on with us. We'll be doing some draft picks. Zach Pearson will also be on with us. And then we'll be off. And then Monday, get this. Monday, we'll be having on former LSU defensive lineman in Los Angeles Chargers defensive lineman Braden Fajoko joining the show. So we got some good guests coming up as the new year is underway. Guys, my name's Blake Ruffino. It's been a joy and a pleasure. We will see you again tomorrow. Peace out, guys.